Welcome in. Today we are experiencing a new moon in Aries. And I believe that this new moon in Aries is asking us to confront a truth about commitment. What we are ready to truly, willingly, intentionally, with conscious awareness commit to. And equally, what are we willing, intentionally, consciously aware of needing to release? It kind of feels like the metaphor of standing at the altar of your own life, aware that every yes is sacred and every no carries its own kind of liberation. So the to death do us part is very much, the wedding vows idea, or committing through sickness and health. But then there's the other piece of it, which is Aries as well, which is over my dead body, right? So when something challenges you, when something challenges something you love, and you would say, over my dead body, does that happen? You're declaring, I will literally kill myself to fight for this because it matters. Like, my conviction for this is I'm willing to fight at that level. So Aries is where conviction lives. It is where, faith, like true faith, becomes embodied. It is, a piece of you that will create you or destroy you, because Aries is the first sign in the zodiac, and creation and destruction, they can't really be separated as much as we want to make everything binary. And so this Aries new moon, if you sit with it and you think about commitment and you think about declaration and you think about till death do us part or over my dead body, I think the question is, what are you committed to? And what are you committed to not be committed to, which is still a tricky way of commitment. So commitment isn't, and I want to talk about what I mean by commitment. Commitment isn't just giving your word and saying, I'm committed to this. Because one, we know that the word alone doesn't mean shit if the actions don't add up, right? Commitment doesn't do anything without actions to back it up. The word is just kind of the aura of commitment. And then what happens when you truly commit to something, which I think is a free will decision. Fate cannot make you commit. Fate can try to leverage you to get your free will to commit, but fate in and of itself, even if it can get you to walk through the door, aka into a classroom, it can't get you to pay attention, it can't get you to learn, it can't get you to embody, right? It can get you to the right relationship, it can get you to the altar, but it can't make you show up every day for that marriage, can't make you grow and learn communication, it can't do those things. Commitment as a free will force is literally the thread that weaves your entire life together. And with that, commitment brings such a powerful meaning that gets so overlooked. Because rather than feeling like you have to create and figure out this puzzle piece of life, which is the true existential crisis, which isn't even necessarily true at all, the deeper, the more holy way through this is to decide, what are you committed to? Who are you committed to? And for what reason? So every time you commit to something, you stake a ground in your identity. And there are little commitments, and there are medium-sized commitments, and there are bigger commitments, and start looking for them. You are going to see the commitments everywhere. There's commitments to the way that you move your body every day. There's commitments to the food you put into your body every day. There's commitments to who you choose to interact with every day. There's commitments to the job and the way you contribute to society. There's commitments. It literally, you couldn't walk into any moment, to any present moment, and not see commitments. And then when you start to see them and you see the thread, and you can get really good at this, and I'm talking about intentional intuition, look at the commitments and then look at the results, right? And so that's one of the things, is that commitments pave the path for you and they lead you somewhere. you don't always know where a commitment's going to leave you. Hence why divorce is a very real energetic, a welcome energetic, and something that allows people to say, holy shit, I committed to something that I actually can't truly commit to. And it allows kind of the exit clause. And this is important because I think commitment has meaning. It's loaded. We're in an Aries New Moon. You want to be aware of what you're committed to and what you're committed to not being committed to. As an expression of commitment, you have to commit to not being committed, which is so nuanced, right? So nuanced. But divorce is real. And don't just think divorce is something that happens in marriage. It's just that fate had a much stronger hold on marriage than any place else because it was done in the name of God, because it was done in public, because those vows were said so openly. Fate had a larger pull, so that divorce was kind of didn't enter that space for a long time. But divorce is very real, has always been real, and you can divorce commitments on different levels. So you can divorce it with your actions and not your words. You can divorce it with your words and not your actions. Divorce is a very nuanced energetic because it's just the opposite. You're committing to not committing, but it's still commitment, right? And so that's what's really, really tricky. It's not a non-action. Divorce isn't giving up on something, it's committing to a different path. If you can't understand that, you wouldn't really be able to walk into a new experience. You would just keep repeating until you understood that everything was a commitment, right? And that's super powerful. Where would you fight for your commitment and embrace it? And where would you fight to release yourself from commitments that are to your own detriment? I will not do this to the sacrifice of my soul. I will do nothing to the sacrifice of my soul. Nothing matters to me. Like death do us part over my fucking dead body. Will I live a life I do not like to live? Will I live a life that exhausts me, burns me out, hurts me, makes me feel like I need to recover from my own life? And that is, when you dig into these new moons, when you want to talk to yourself, when you want to process with yourself, when you want to understand yourself, look at what you're committed to. Because that really does determine everything. And what you're committed to is the same essence of what you're divorced from. It's just that sometimes we can't see how that energy plays out. So it's a powerful new moon, as they all are, if you know what to do with it, if you take the time to sit with it. The new moon cannot do the work for you. It's about you being in your body. It's about you looking at commitment. It's about you understanding that divorcing something if you do it wrong, you're just avoiding something. But if you do it right and you commit to the right thing, it's life-altering, it's game-changing, it's everything that will shape you and make you for all fucking eternity, till death do you part, right? And you are married to these commitments. But it's a powerful, powerful week for that. So the AI prompt, as always, is going to bring you into what astrology is showing you is happening with the new moon. I highly recommend journaling first about your commitments, journaling first about that energy, seeing where it's shown up in your life, seeing where you want it to show up in your life, and then going into your chart, because astrology has never been a replacement for your intuition. It is merely an enhancement. Thank you so much for being here this week. If you've enjoyed this podcast, go ahead and subscribe. If you love this episode, go ahead and share it with someone who might benefit from hearing it. And I will see you next Friday. Happy New Moon in Aries.